Hey everyone and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where today it is time to continue the main story. Our minion roulette gives us for today the Fat Cat. Hello there, cutie. Let's talk to Azael in Estinian and then we can get on our way. 'Tis natural for him to feel concerned for his companions. I agree. Ah, you should have seen the boy fretting. 'Twas a sight to behold. Tease him no more. Master Alphino is to be applauded for his sense of responsibility. Given his years, 'tis little wonder the burden weighs heavy upon his shoulders. Thank you, Azael. It is kind of funny, though. It's a good thing, but it is kind of funny. Alright, I do want to make a note real quick. Today will be the last main story episode before we take a bit of a break. Of course, we'll be doing our Sunday episode tomorrow, as usual. But after tomorrow's Sunday episode, we're going to take a pretty, not a lengthy break, but we're going to take a bit of a break. I'm going to wait until patch 7.2 releases, which today is February 26th. Patch 7.2 comes out March 25th, so about a 1 month break is what you can expect. I'll start recording it once patch 7.2 comes out, but it'll take about a month before I have enough videos ready that I'm ready to start uploading again. Because I like to try and stay about a month ahead just in case anything happens, so I have a nice decent buffer. We're going to be taking a break because we're about 1/3 through the game now, and I want to give a little bit of time for that next graphics update to come out. This is a good time to wait for the next graphics update to come out. That's going to be coming with patch 7.2, and I imagine they're going to start touching up a lot of Heavensward areas, which the areas already look pretty decent, but there's also some places where, well, it's showing its age a little bit. So I do want to see those graphics updates come in before we go too much further. Yeah, I don't need to explain further. I just want to give a little bit of time for the graphics updates to get caught up. All right then, Alphino. Alphino is keen to inform Vidofnir of Lord Ravana's defeat. Shall we be on our way to Onyx Shrine then? I would not have the dragon think that we have forgotten our bargain. Indeed, let's get moving. And you went straight back to Onyx Shrine. So we can just teleport on over and meet you there. Alright, Vidofnir, you are waiting outside. Oops, sorry for barging directly into your home without talking to you first. Apologies. It was just the quickest way to get back. Will the dragon now honor her word? That remains to be seen. I'm sure she will. Vidofnir will be pleased to hear of Lord Ravana's defeat and of his pledge to recall his soldiers. You should be the one to break the news. The victory was yours, after all. You did do a bit to weaken him first, though. I don't think he'd have been nearly that easy if not for you fighting first. And I'm saying that mostly because, oh my god, he was so easy and you got your ass handed to you. Sorry, Azael. It's not looking great for you. Oops. Alright then, Vidofnir. Thou art returned, little one. Hast thou abandoned thine ill-conceived contest with the Myath? Nay, my friend, we return in triumph. By Satora's hands was the beastman's god Lord Ravana laid low. In his overconfidence, the Primal swore to withdraw his followers from your lands in the event of his defeat. A promise we believe he will keep. The Myath shall trouble you no longer. The deity is slain, then? How didst thou contend with his biting blades? But the particulars matter not. Thou hast fulfilled thy promise, and I shall fulfill mine. Attend me, mortals. Hie you into the deepest reaches of Mourn, and there you shall you find Halo, the altar from which you may begin your ascent to the summits of Sohm. But be fairly warned, the minions of Nidhogg will shall not lightly suffer your presence on that sacred mount. By your struggles within the cavern shall I judge your party possessed of sufficient fortitude to proceed. We shall not disappoint you, Vidofnir. If memory serves, the Cavern of Mourn is entered from the second floor of the central tower. Let us begin the climb. Whew! My tongue is not having a good one. Alright then, into Mourn we go. And, not to play my hand too soon, but we're gonna want to have our combat gear for what's coming up. So I'm gonna go ahead and dispel my glamours right now. just so I don't have to trek all the way back to my destination. Alright, so second floor of Mourn? Sorry, second floor of the tower leads to Mourn. Also, fun detail, I think I have all these details correct. Fun fact about the dragons. They are... What's the correct word for this? I know there's a correct word that I just simply do not know. They only have a single sex. They do not have two sexes like humans do or like many creatures do. Some creatures have many sexes. Some have 3 or 4. Many have 2. Dragons only have 1. That said, despite having only one sex, they do take on gendered pronouns, which is interesting. It's entirely by choice, though there's no differentiation between them. Gender is for them, as it is for humans, a social construct. I love that. Granted, with humans there is a correlation between gender and sex, but that does not mean it's the same thing. There are plenty of examples of there being differences, and even when you just look at the sexes, there's not strictly 2 sexes in humans. It's a bimodal. I think it's the best description is bimodal. There's 2 kind of like broad categories of sexes, but there's lots of variation between them, and then there's also plenty of people who fall out of those 2 primary categories. Turns out biology is extremely complicated. Also, those vinegaroons were the last enemies we had on our hunting log. So that is finally dealt with. I can start picking up those daily logs. I might start doing that so I can start building up my Centurio seals. Well, what are we up to? 55 with a cap of 4,000? Yeah, I'm probably gonna start working towards that. There'll be some nice rewards we can get eventually. But yeah, no, it's fun. Biology is complicated. Nothing falls into discrete categories. You've been lied to, or at least you've been simplified at. At? At. At seems correct. Shit's too complicated for simple explanations, so we do the best we can. And even then, we're still learning shit all the time. So current knowledge can quickly become incorrect old knowledge as we learn more info. Okay, let's get out the rook. Take you down, and then we're almost to our destination. It's not the longest trek, but it is a slight trek. Oh, this statue looks in disarray. Looks like there's a huge chunk missing off to the left. It's extremely unbalanced. Well done, little one. As promised, I shall open the way to Somal's summit for thee and thy companions. Heed me now, children of man. The domain you seek to enter hath not seen visitors of your kind in nigh on 1,000 years. Though I freely grant you passage, your presence will not be welcomed. To my kin, this mountain is revered as holy ground and resting place both. Were you the minions of Needhog during your ascent, for 'tis certain they shall take great offense at your intrusion. We are grateful for your warnings, gentle Vidofnir. My final words are for thee, Dragoon. Have care to keep the stolen power thou wieldest in check, lest it breed further despair. Estinian? The way is open. Let us not tarry here. A moment. Shall we blindly forge on, knowing the dangers that await us? Tioman herself is said to guard this peak. I do not fear Nidhogg's consort. Any dragon foolish enough to bar our path shall still feel the sting of my lance. Spoken like a true butcher. Need I remind you that we are come to parley a peace? Let us be clear, heretic. 'Twas to save Ishgard and her people that I first lent my support to this doubtful venture, and it is for their sake that I go now to speak with Raskovnik. But I said nothing of Tioman. Should the opportunity present itself to rid my people of one of their deadliest enemies, I shall take it. That is my duty as Azure Dragoon. You are beyond redemption. We will accomplish nothing by bickering. If we are to meet with Raskovnik, our path leads up the mountain. We shall defend ourselves if attacked, but avoid conflict wherever possible. What other choice do we have? Estinian, that includes you. You will avoid conflict wherever possible. Do not ruin this. I feel the weight of Dravanian rancor pressing down upon me. You've got a bit of my rancor too, Estinian. We shall defend ourselves if attacked, but avoid conflict wherever possible. What other choice do we have? A dragon lost to anger is beyond all control. This I learned to my sorrow when I unleashed the horde upon Ishgard. Alright. It's time to set up to the top of Sohm. And we are going with duty supports. I've been so excited to see what the duty support is like with actual named NPCs. Would you look at that? Azael, Alphino, and Estinian form our party. Finally, we have more than Eager Marauder, Eager Conjurer, Eager Thaumaturge, Scion Marauder, Scion Conjurer, Scion Thaumaturge. We have actual, characters with names. It's exciting. I'm so happy we finally get to see this. Let's go. Alright, let's begin. We're likely going to be getting a lovely bunch of dialogue from our party members, so I'm very curious what they have to say. I have never even taken a look at the duty support version of this, so this is all going to be very new to me. It's the same dungeon, of course, but it's the character interactions that I'm here for. Okay. Immediately we have flying enemies all over the place to deal with. Down you go, and let's keep pushing forward. And we've got Ochu's up here. Hello. Okay, I'm gonna wait for my cooldowns to be less than 15 seconds. Perfect. Now we can start doing... Oh, right, hang on. AoE is going to be different. I don't need to worry about that on AoE because we're using auto crossbow instead now. Okay, well, on single target, you want to wait for your Gauss round and ricochet cooldowns to be between 10 and 15 seconds before you use Heat Blast. All right. Missed some dialogue. Of course I did. Alphino, I feel I've seen this plant's like before, but where? Drakespur, beware its pollen. Alright, good to know. Stay away from the pollen of the Drakespur. Those creatures, I believe. Those plants, rather. Ooh, there's a lot of Drakespur around here. And they're dropping pollen clusters. Okay, that is menacing. Okay, focus you to get rid of you as soon as possible so we don't have to learn about its the threat of its pollen.
Shiva, aid me!
Bah, more Drakesberg. Focus on cutting down the plants, I'll provide support. Sounds good. Thank you, Elfino. Now that the Drakesberg's down, we can safely deal with the vultures and flying killers.
Your god is down.
Oh, they're Gala cats. I didn't get a good look at them before between all the attack animations. I always feel bad when they die. They sound like kitties, of course, because they're Gaelic cats. Okay, we've got more Drakesper to deal with. Yeah, Drakesper is the priority. I use that with very bad timing, but oh well. The Drakesper's out of the way. Oh god, the pollen clusters are spreading. Okay, they're dead, they're dead.
Know your folly.
Okay, we're free to move forward. And this first boss might be familiar. I didn't come all this way to cut down overgrown weeds. Nevertheless, I would see if your lance is suited to the task. Raskovnik! Well, the name isn't familiar, but the mechanics sure should be if you've done binding coils, because this is, I believe, mechanically the same as the boss from turn 5 of the binding coils. Sorry, not turn 5, turn 6. My mistake. But yeah, a lot of the mechanics that Raskovnik has are the same as the mechanics in turn 6. It doesn't have all of the mechanics of that fight, that would be a little bit on the cruel side, but a lot of the mechanics are very similar, if not the same. For example, we've got this icon, which, oh god, I don't quite remember what I don't remember what it's called, but I do remember that it tries to eat us and devour us, which is a problem. I don't remember exactly how all these mechanics are supposed to work. I know that you want to get away from Raskovnik once it pulls you in, so that it doesn't actually devour you. You also want to make sure the Dravanian Hornets die before they get to it. I've never bothered to let the Dravanian Hornets reach the boss. So I'm not quite sure exactly what happens, but I'm willing to bet it's not good. Not good seems like an appropriate assessment. Alright, drag me in. Do it, I dare you. Oh, I completely forgot to use my 2 minutes. Oops.
Away with you!
Ah, crap. That's a lot of hornets about to come in. Okay, well... I think we killed it in time for it not to be an issue. But that was still unfortunate. I guess I should be focusing on the hornets, since it seems like my allies aren't doing the best job of that. That's fine. I have seen them working on it, but apparently not enough. And we got our first item from this dungeon. It is item level 130. We finally have item level 130 gear coming in. Equal in strength to the final coils gear. Though possibly with better substats, we'll have to take a look once we're out of the dungeon. I'll take a look on my own time, figure out what I want to equip. But that also means that pretty soon we're going to finally start replacing all of our final coils gear. Finally! We have had it for long enough. Since soon we're going to be having higher item levels in our final coils gear. Alright, Azael, you're doing fine as a tank, but could you come up here a little bit faster? Oh, you know what? She's got a sword and shield right now. I bet if we're playing as tank, she'll play as DPS, and she'll be using probably a bow and arrow, since the sword and the bow and arrow are two of Shiva's weapons that she uses. That's neat. I like that. Anyways, missed some dialogue. We've still a long way to go, then let's keep moving. And Azael, stop! We did not come here to do battle. Unfortunately, the dragons are not listening. We have to defend ourselves. I want to know the origins of the name Eruka for this caterpillar. And the reason I am curious about this is... Sorry, there's going to be possibly a weird tangent, but it'll make sense once I've explained myself. There is an enemy in Xenoblade that is called an Eluka. It is also a caterpillar, which tells me that there is specific meaning behind the name Eluka/Eruka. And I'm very curious what that is. The fact that it's named between two different franchises, or effectively the same between two different franchises, clearly indicates that there's some common origin. It's not just a fantasy name they came up with, they got it from somewhere. Okay, this dragon's got ice boulders are dropping on us. Alright, let's shoot down these ice boulders, get them out of the way, and the cryo dragon has joined the fight. Alright, sorry about this cryo dragon, but again, if you're not gonna leave us be, we have to defend ourselves. Must we always resort to violence? We must slay or be slain. Make your choice. Estinian, you have no goddamn compassion. I'm starting to think it was a mistake to take you with us. Starting to might be a little bit generous to him. But he certainly feels like he's getting a bit worse and more brazen.
Your god is down.
Huh. Makes sense. Azael's set up to be a gladiator. That makes a lot of sense. Just from her being sword and shield. And Alphino is, of course, an Arcanist. Yeah, that checks out. That lets him... He is a healer variant Arcanist, so he can be a healer, but he is still an Arcanist. That makes sense. Its scales are like into armor. A thick hide will not spare it from my lance.
I will end your struggles.
Alright, somebody... Estinian took my limit break. You know what? Fair enough. Probably better than melee he uses it. Okay, what do we have coming up? We've got a bunch of slimes on the arena. The color of the slime will indicate what mechanic they will trigger. Blue looks to be a baited AoE. We can't get out of it, but our party members sure can. What are you, red? Red is stack marker. Got it. Okay, fairly simple. Blue is going to be another spread marker. And we've got another stack marker.
Shiva, aid me!
Ooh, and we've got Kaima the Mountain. This one, if we don't kill it fast enough, is going to ruin our day. Thankfully, it dies pretty quickly. And we've got this. Okay, not too tough of a fight. The main thing is just keeping an eye on what color of attack or what color of slime it's going to use next. It was a worthy adversary. We are not here for you to enjoy sport, Dragoon. God, their bickering is just never going to end, is it? I'm largely siding with Azael lately, though. She at least seems to agree with the idea of bringing peace to this war. Whereas Estinian, oh my god, his bloodlust is insatiable. I do not... I feel like if anything's going to screw over this mission, it's going to be Estinian. Especially after the A Realm Reborn quest. I do not like this. I am getting increasingly bad vibes. Also... Oh, we are very, very high up. We are extremely high in the sky. Once these enemies are out of the way, I want to get a good look at how high up we really are. Okay, let's take a look. Oh god! There's layers and layers to this mountain before we even hit the clouds. Oh god!
Away with you!
Alright, let's send out the Rook. Now seems as good a time as any. Sure, it's slightly underpowered from sending it out at 90, but oh god. Hello there, Ergo Dragon. Please, I beg you, let us pass. Your words fall on deaf ears. I hate to say it, but Estinian is right on this case. They're not listening. And we've got the Pyro Dragon and the Cryo Dragon coming in. Lovely. Alright, well, let's deal with those ice boulders before they become an issue. And they are still wounded from the earlier fight. Good to know, I suppose? Doesn't exactly make me feel great about this situation. I don't want to be fighting them.
Shiva, aid me!
Know your folly.
God, we've really pissed off these dragons, though. Oh, dear. Down they go. So that's at least 3 larger dragons. Did we kill any children when we were back in the caves? Okay. We're not going to worry about it. We're going to keep moving. We got treasure coffers just up ahead. Tioman, consort of Needhug, we beseech you. Grant us safe passage to the mountain summit. We mean you no harm. As I thought, blind to reason like all the rest. If you would see our mission to its conclusion, you know what must be done. Such rage and rancor. Is there truly no other way? I wish there was, Azael, but it does seem like it is. Tioman is itching for a fight. You would dare intrude upon the sacred mount? My jaws shall run red with the blood of men. And abandon our mission? Don't be absurd. All right. Sorry about this, Tioman, but if you're not gonna let us through, we have to keep moving. Give it a moment before we use our... Now. And comets? Oh, crap. Okay, stay away from those comets. And they're leaving aftershocks as well, so... Ooh! Ooh, comets dropping on the edge and just staying there.
Away with you.
More comets coming. Where are they going to fall? We have a limit break ready. Ooh, we can bait where we want them to fall. Alphino's dragging it to the edge, but what if we drop it in the... Oh, that would be why. They have big-ass proximity effects. Got it. Arrogant insects be crushed by, beneath the weight of my fury. All right, and now we move into the intermission. We need to destroy the right wing of injury and the left wing of tragedy before it's too late. If she's allowed to charge up all the way, we will wipe. One down, and the other down. All right, Estinian, you've got this if you want it. You want to use your limit break, or are you going to let me have it? Alright, he's using it. I think it might be best if I use Wildfire immediately before I use Heat Blast. That might be the best time to use it. I'm not fully... You know what? Fair enough. We should go, Azael. The summit awaits. I'm sorry we had to do that. Why did you refuse to listen? Why didn't I? We're nearly to the summit. Let's keep moving. I'm sorry, Azael. We didn't exactly have much choice in the matter. For now, we can keep moving. Satora? I'm fine. To it seemed Tioman was the last. I sensed no other dragons nearby. What is happening? Needhog. He roars. He knows we are here then. His fury, it bleeds through the eye. Fear not, I am yet my own master. But that damned worm's wrath burns hotter than flame. Come, the heart of the dragon's homeland yet lies before us. Thus do we add another link to the chain of vengeance. Oh, Saint Shiva, when will it end?
To the peak of Sohm, at the end of a perilous mountain path, whence could be seen a string of pearl-like islands floating impossibly atop a sea of clouds. To a domain where dragons and men had once lived in harmony, whose majesty no mortal eye had glimpsed for nigh on 1,000 years, they came.
We have arrived at the Churning Mists. A very, very pretty zone. I suppose I should read the information for the dungeon we just went through. Sohm, casting its shadow over the Dravanian forelands, this towering peak is revered by the dragons as both holy ground and resting place. And now, in accordance with your pact, Vidofnir has thrown open to you the final ascent to the Sacred Mount summit. But Needhug's minions will not lightly suffer this intrusion. Ere you gaze upon the fabled expanse of the Churning Mists, you must first carve a path through the mountain's denizens and overcome the consort of Needhug herself, the she-dragon Tioman. Alright. I feel the worm's anger. His lair is not far. Not far at all. We stand within the sacred homeland of dragons beneath the sky that is Hraesvelgur's domain. Our quest nears its end, Satora. We have reached it at last, the peak of Sohm. 'Tis said to be the highest mountain in all of Eorzea, you know? I thought it cold in Kurthus, but the air here carries the chill of a dozen winters. Alright, we got our ether current for the Dravanian Forelands. Over here we've got ourselves an aetherite. And over here we have a summoning stone. Now what do I spy over there? Intriguing. Funny that you're up here. Alright then. With that, next time on Final Fantasy XIV, we're going to do one more Sunday episode for this chapter, for this section of Heavensward. Then we're going to take a little bit of a break. As I mentioned before, we're going to be taking a break until patch 7.2 is out. And about 1 month after that releases, I will be back in order to continue with Heavensward. I will see everyone next time for that.